Hello, traders. Welcome to the Trading Trail. This is the series where I recap some of the best and brightest trades of the day. The day is February 19th, and boy, oh boy, did we have some interesting trades or opportunities that we were able to take advantage of today. This week is a shorter trading week. We didn't trade on Monday because of President's Day, but so far, this has been my biggest green day of the year so far. I'm happy to report that I am sitting up a nice, clean $1,000, just almost 1,100. So, but we were able to break that figure uh, benchmark today. So I'm walking away green $1,091.31, and I traded three different tickers today. That was on SINT, CMMB, and TRNR. So we're going to go through and recap every single one of these trades today. If I had to rate my performance, I'd give myself a very solid A. I'm very happy with how I traded this morning, especially coming off of some slower kind of action that we've been seeing in the market. I think the action that we saw this morning on SINT is a great sign for some future movement in the coming weeks. Now, trade of the day, I'm going to award that one to either two tickers, JTAI, which I actually did not end up trading, but it still made some phenomenal moves today, or SINT. And I think the key takeaway that I hope you guys get from this video is how. Oh my goodness. I think the key takeaway that I hope you guys are going to be able to take away from this video today is going to be how to add two winners. There we go. So let's get right into it. So the first trade of the day was actually on SINT. We started off on a very nice trade earlier in the morning, around 6:15 in the morning, and this is what the chart we were looking at was on SINT early in the morning. So right around here, I'm sitting down to trade. Sorry, right around here. And what I was able to see is SINT is coming off with some fresh, hot news, and that's a great sign. So we end up making this first initial pop, coming right back down, finding that resistance in the area, and then we make a lower high, and we find resistance right here at our 4 level. All right, here we go. So SINT, we make that first initial pop up. We come back down, find support. Notice how the 25 on the 1 is holding up in a strong way. So this is basically price coming up, coming right back down, finding support above our 10 EMA on the 5. We know that we're holding in a stronger way in this area. And then also price finding resistance right here at 4, immediately hopping in for that breakthrough 4. And that's exactly what happened. So my first entry is actually going to be right down here at the break of this downtrend and the breakthrough 4. So I'm grabbing some shares at 4, and then I'm holding, hoping that we're going to be able to get a nice break and hold above the 4 level and start stair stepping up. On the daily chart, SINT was showing plenty of room to run. And that's exactly what happened. So we get the break of the downtrend right down here, and then I'm taking some profit off the table up here. I was actually thinking that this breakthrough 4.3 found from this resistance right here, this 4.3, was actually a little bit too early in the morning, especially with how far price was extended from our 10 EMA on the 5. This purple line closely lines up with our 10 EMA on the 5. It's close. It's the 50 EMA on the 1, this purple line, but that will often line up with the 10 EMA on the 5. So that's what I'm kind of referencing here. Now, going back and forth between a 1 minute and a 5 minute chart can always be good. But then I decide, I'm going to close the position when the 10 EMA on the 1 fails. So I completely close out of my position right here. Now, in hindsight, you could have kept holding some Lotto shares through this dip for it to continue on higher. But in my eyes, this early in the morning, we didn't know if this one was going to be the winner into 7 in the morning volume. And as you can see, we are still consolidating into 7 in the morning. So my thought process was if something else were to have taken attention right here between 6:30 and 7, then I should exit my position right here and not hold through this dip. So I'm actually grateful that I ended up closing the position on the 10 on the one fail. Now what I do end up doing is adding back to a position when it's showing more strength. So basically off of this dip and price holding above the 10 EMA on the 5 right here, I was thinking that if I simply got back in right here on the VWAP break, and then I was also interested that price continues to respect this downtrend, even though it got a little false breakout right above it. But price continues to respect it, so we get another break and hold in this area, and that's what starts this stair-stepping pattern up into that 7 a.m. volume. So that's exactly what happens. So I'm adding some shares right back in right here with the idea to just simply cut my loss if the 10 EMA on the 5 fails here. And I'm grabbing some shares back here. I think it was at like 416 or something like that, my average on into this next move. So I'm adding some shares within this range, simply going to cut if the 10 EMA on the 5 fails here, and then we continue to hold on the 10 EMA on the 1. If price is holding above the 10 EMA on the 1, that normally means a stronger move is still underway. So price holds very beautifully within this area into 7 in the morning. Then I'm adding for the breakthrough 478, which happens right here. And then I'm closing most of my position right here, leaving some trailers for a larger move if it's able to do so. So this was quite phenomenal. This put me, I think it was like up, I think close to $1,000 on the day, right here. So I think this first move was about $300, and then since I was able to add twice within this area, I basically doubled my position size right here for the nice next pop up into that next resistance with 7 a.m. volume. And then I'm taking some size off, adding back as it's showing strength for the 525 break, then trimming out of my position more up here, and overall getting in and out of this stock. I rotated through a lot of settled funds, but regardless, just on SINT, I was able to lock in $1,046.30. So quite phenomenal, if you ask me. Then SINT, this is the 5-minute chart where you kind of get to see. So all of this pre-market trading happened early for between about 6:15 and 7:30. That's all of this trading right here that I was able to lock in about $1,000. I tried to play it with smaller size into market open. Now, I was also referencing the 30-minute chart at this time in the morning. I don't have the 30-minute chart saved, but the 30-minute chart was showing that price was so far extended from the 10 EMA on the 30. Now, SINT, let's go ahead and pull up the 30-minute chart here. 30-minute. So this is quite a beautiful, beautiful 30-minute chart to study. And the reason that I say that is price holds very, very nicely above the 10 EMA on the 30. So as price is still trying to build up strength within this area, price holds above this 10 EMA on the 30. Now the real level to have held within this area would have been this 430 area. And price is able to break above this area, hold above it, and then that's when we get this nice extension up to 611. And I do actually end up playing this one right here, just with some smaller size, as it was so much later on the day. I was already up $1,000. I just wanted to play it to, make sure I'm practicing my executions and everything. But I think I played it with like 1 or 2 shares. So I'm getting in right here at the break of VWAP, and when price is trading below VWAP, that normally means that bears are going to be in control of the stock. When price starts to reverse upwards and break VWAP again, going below the VWAP to now trading above the VWAP, that's a pretty good indication that you have early signs of a reversal happening. So right here, we're trading below VWAP, break VWAP, and then we get a nice little obvious break and hold on the 1-minute chart. Yeah. We get a break and hold of VWAP on the 1 minute chart, and then that's what helps give you confidence that we're going to see that next bigger move. This next bigger move goes all the way up to about a 611 resistance. And we knew that we were going to have resistance right at 619, grab from that daily chart. Same thing with 575, 555, and so on. So SINT, many opportunities to have traded this one. Pre-market trading was phenomenal on this one, and then so was this kind of like lunch 11 a.m. focus area right here. So key times to definitely pay attention to. SINT, this is a better example of that VWAP reversal I was talking about. I knew I grabbed that, but right here, this black line right down here is going to be VWAP. So we get a break, price holds above the VWAP, and that's what gives you that launch pad up. So that would have been a 25% move within just a few minutes. I mean, went straight up into a halt. It moved really, really quickly, but the early signs of a reversal were going to be from that VWAP bounce. Now, the next ticker that I ended up trading pre-market was on CMMB, and this is the 1 minute chart. CMMB, you definitely did not want to get caught holding and hoping on this one. I'm glad I kept it very tight and even found some pretty good profit on it. But what we were looking for is I was looking for a break of this resistance right here, of this 246. So I'm getting in right here. I'm taking some profit off the table right here. And then I'm simply closing my position when it's starting to show more weakness. Price was so far extended from the 10 EMA on the 1 that I really wanted to see it hold up here and then start to show better signs of strength. We really needed to see a break and hold of this 255 level. This 255 level is a key level on the daily chart. Or I think it's weekly in this case, on the weekly chart. But it's such a big key level on that higher time frame look that if we wanted to see a stronger move, like what I would have liked to see is just a nice, very clean break and hold above that 255. The fact that price started to come back down and failed the 255 in this candle scared me enough that I went ahead and closed my position right there. And this is that weekly level that I'm more specifically talking about here. So right here, this is the weekly chart on CMMB. And we know that if we get a break, so this blue line right here is our 90 EMA. If we get a break and hold of the 90 EMA, that can often show room to the next EMA. The next EMA is all the way up here, the 200 EMA, which is all the way up at $11. It's kind of unlikely this stock is going to get a move all the way up to $11, but just zooming in here, we see that we have these key levels to focus on while we're trading. So let's go and circle all of the ones that I'm going to be paying attention to. But in summary, a break of this 246 shows room to the next resistance, which is 255. A break of the 255 is going to show room to the next resistance, and then the next one, and then the next one. So this was actually showing a lot more room to run within this area, but if we wanted to catch it quick, we would have grabbed shares from the 246. And that's exactly what I tried to do of this 246 resistance. Now, I think if we were able to get the obvious break and hold of this 250 area, I would have to imagine that we were going to get some nicer movement above 270. The fact that we found such big resistance within this area is what ended up killing the move on CMMB. So you don't want to get caught holding below the 10 EMA on the 5 because you want to be on the top side of the move above getting the movement above that 246 into that 270 resistance. So if price were able to have held above the 255 just for a little bit longer, ideally that would have brought up our 10 EMA on the 5 just a little bit. So if price were able to hold within this area right here, then the 10 EMA on the 5 would have been pulled up with respect to it. So that would have been a much stronger, better looking move than the movement that we ended up seeing. The fact that we got that quick fail of the 255, where we really, really needed that break and hold of 255 to show much better room to run on that weekly chart, would have been a much better move on CMMB. So I'm glad that I played it. Glad that I'm green $50 or so. That's a smaller win, but a win nonetheless. And you definitely don't want to get caught holding below VWAP right here and that 246. So unfortunate, kind of sad that this one didn't take off like I was expecting it to. But CMMB, great one to study nonetheless. Now, another thing that I want to key takeaway that I want to kind of share with you guys is a strong break and hold of the 5 level can often show room to the 7 to 10 psychological area. And keep this in mind while we go ahead and review the other runner up for trade of the day. I think the trade of the day is split between SINT, which is the one that I made $1,000 on this morning, or JTAI. And JTAI had some very, very nice moves this morning. Now, during pre-market, I was watching it within this area, but it was all on the front side of the move, so I was very hesitant to trade it. It never got a deep pullback, or it gave me too many entries to get in. I suppose you could have tried to add some shares on this pullback, but it wasn't a guarantee that the 10 EMA was going to hold up in this area, especially when you just had that quick little fail of the 10 on the 1. So I was very hesitant to even play this one. I'm glad I didn't. Even though it went up all the way up to $6, that would have been a phenomenal trade within this area. But I missed it nonetheless. Now, what I really want to pay attention to is this area and this area. This area is the 5 psychological level. So JTAI gets some nice news right here and then pops and curls up. It only starts to pull back into market open. This market open sell-off, and then tries to reclaim, and then a tougher sell-off after VWAP. But right here, if you kept focus for the break and hold of the psychological 5 level, that would have helped you land that larger move. So there's a few different ways you could have played this. You could have been very aggressive with an entry down here from this downtrend break. Or what I prefer is an entry right here. And you're probably asking yourself, well, how do you get an entry in right there? Well, more importantly, what you would have focus on is going to be this action right here. And the reason that I say that is like I was mentioning earlier on how to spot those key reversal times. Like, for example, SINT. Later on in the day, we get the nice break, hold above VWAP, and that's what gives us that launch pad into a larger move. If we zoom in on JTAI here we go. If we zoom in here on JTAI, that's exactly what happens. So we get a break and hold above VWAP, and then that's what gives us that launch pad into that next move. So what I probably would have done is drawn the downtrend exactly like this right here, and then looked to have added some shares, possibly either on the VWAP support or as it's breaking out from this pullback. And then we get that very nice explosive move all the way up into that 7 area. So we get the move from 5 all the way up to $7 here. And then as price starts to consolidate, move sideways, fighting to hold the VWAP as support. Then, if we notice on our 5-minute chart, we can go ahead and draw in a new downtrend, just like that. So then again, you could have been looking to possibly play it again for the break through this 628 resistance or break of the downtrend. Definitely could have played this one again for the next larger move that was signaled to us back here from the break and hold of our key 5 level. JTAI ended up making a move all the way up to $11. And in my opinion, there were many possible ways to have landed a trade on this one for a little bit of green, at least. One, possibly looking at this area right here for that break and hold of the psychological 5 level that can then show room to the 7 to 10 level. So break and hold of down here can show room to the psychological 7 to 10 area. And man, oh man, would this one have been a phenomenal trade. First, maybe looking for a VWAP reversal somewhere in here, then simply playing a downtrend break. If we get rid of these highs right here, the break of 7 is what can then start to show that for that larger move. And that's exactly what happens on JTAI. I hope the rest of the team was able to find a little, if not some, green today. I'm very optimistic for what the market might bring to us in the next coming weeks. And I will be looking forward to doing the next trading trail. I'll see you guys soon, team. Safe trading, everyone. Bye.